Hi, this is Dr. O'Hara, and I wanted to give you some tips on setting up a table of contents for your 5-chapter papers. First thing you want to do is put in the title, which is Table of Contents. It should be the first line on the page. Then I want to make sure that my spacing is double-spaced and that the don't add a space between the paragraphs of the same style is turned on so that I don't get any extra spacing. Then I'm going to return 1, and I'm going to change my margin to this right justified margin. Then I'm going to type in chapter and page. Then I'm going to scoot the page all the way over here to the right. And if I go over too far, which I always do, I'm just going to come back 1. Then the next entry is the first chapter. So I'm going to put in 1 for chapter 1, and then I'm going to type in introduction. I'm going to put in the dot leaders. And I normally do not put in the page numbers, but I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to add my page here, go over, so come back 1. Okay, next is going to be the subheadings that are in chapter 1, which include the synopsis of the presentation, statement of the problem, and purpose of the paper. These are all level 2 headings. Then the next entry will be chapter 2, the review of literature. Here I'm reminding you, if you have any subheadings, to be sure to put them in the table of contents as well. The next chapter is chapter 3, methods and procedures. The first subheading is methodology. The second one is procedures. Then I have my level 3 headings here, assumption, limitations, and search procedures. Notice how there's a progressive indent and that all the important words are capitalized, which is different than the APA style headings in the body of the paper. Convention is that you include up to level 3 headings in the table of contents, but you will not be penalized for including more levels of headings if you choose, like I have here, put in the level 4 headings. The next chapter is chapter 4, which is the results, and then chapter 5 is, for our paper, the conclusions. In a 5-chapter paper that you'll be doing for your culminating options, it's going to include discussion, conclusion, implications, and recommendations. So that will be this level of heading here. Then I'm going to have subheadings of discussion, conclusion, implication, and recommendations underneath. The last entry on the table of contents is the reference section. Notice how there's no chapter designation. None of this is bold because it's not included in the body of the paper. I just want to point out that the chapter numbers line up under the C in chapter, and the page numbers line up under the E in page. When you get to the next section, which is chapter 1, be sure to put your margin back to the left flush designation. The next chapter is chapter 1, and that will be talked about in my next session.